It is an apparition. It's a face that is on the side of the UTMB building. They have tried to wash this face off the side of the wall, both acid washing, pressure washing, and for whatever reason, this face keeps returning.
Robert Durst does what Robert Durst does, which is murder the man and then chop his body up and chunk him into Galveston Bay. There's a creature in Galveston that when we were there, we encountered ourselves. It's a mythic being. It has long claws and
scaly skin. Welcome back to Creeps, Crimes, and Cryptids. I'm Carter, along with my buddy Paul here at the Ghost City Tour Studios. It's time for another episode where we talk about something creepy, something crime-ridden, and a cryptid based in a city of which Ghost City Tours, the #1 Ghost City tour company in the world, does business. Today we're focusing, like I think we just said, the beautiful city of Galveston, Texas. So first things first, Paul, how many times have you been to Galveston?
I've been to Galveston twice.
Twice. One time for work, one time for play?
Yes.
What was the play like?
It was like the work time.
All right, let's get started. So, we're going to mix things up today. Today, I'm going to give you the creep.
Yes.
From Galveston. And it's something that we kind of stumbled upon while we were there in Galveston. You know, we, after moving around, meandering through the biker rally, we decided to pivot and start talking about Jean Lafitte. We'll have some videos about Jean Lafitte later on. But that didn't work either. So we pivoted again. And this time we went to a bar, a local dive bar. And then we started learning about this local lore in Galveston called the Face. The Face of Galveston, folks. It is an apparition. It's a face that is on the side of the UTMB building, the University of Texas Medical Building.
Yes. So it'd just be UTMB. Because otherwise it would be University of Texas Medical Building.
Right. Okay, yeah, so UTMB. Ewing Hall is the name of the building at UTMB, where this face has appeared for decades. They have tried to wash this face off the side of the wall, both acid washing, pressure washing, and for whatever reason, this face keeps returning. They say there are many potential reasons behind that. Do you remember them?
Yeah. Wasn't it that it was the guy who owned the land said that to his kids, like, don't sell this, otherwise I'll effing haunt you?
I don't know if he said that he was going to potentially haunt, but he was like, look, I'm going to pass my land off to my heirs, my children. My only rule is don't sell the land. Well, naturally, piece of shit kids, they sold the land. And because of that, he haunts the building. Now, that's one story. Another comes from his name is William Bigfoot Wallace. He was a Civil War general. Did I say general?
I believe you did.
He was a Civil War general. No, I think he fought in the War of 1812. He fought in a war.
There was a war. This guy had big feet.
Yeah.
He was in it.
Yeah, he was a big guy. And they say that he owned the land and was in a dispute with the state of Texas, because everyone who had military service, especially generals, they got an allotment of land. And he was like, okay, this is my land. And they said, no, we want that land for the state purposes. And he said, no. And he kept fighting back and forth. Eventually, I think the state ended up winning. And so, legend goes, William Wallace haunts this building to this day with his face on the wall that they can't remove. And the weirdest part about it is that we talked to some folks out in Galveston, people who worked not only for the hospital, but people who worked for the city. And this one guy who was working for the city did not want us talking on camera or the city did not want him talking on camera. They discouraged people allegedly talking about the face on camera or publicly to the media. And then there were some nurses as well that we talked to, and they didn't feel comfortable going on camera talking about it. I think it's a little hush-hush thing. It's something they try to hide. In fact, we even tried driving up there to see it for ourselves.
Yeah, but you know who did talk about it, though? Some beautiful angels.
Some beautiful angels did talk about it. You can we'll put the video of our trip to Galveston in the bio. We have more on the face in there. But the only way people can really see it today is by taking a boat tour.
Yeah. We tried to drive up there. There's a big fence, and they put some crap in front of it. It's a whole big pain in the ass. And, we don't like getting arrested.
No.
So, and we don't have a boat.
No.
Not there, not in Texas.
Not in Texas, no.
So.
It's kind of a dud. But
the video's good.
Go
watch the
good.
video.
Yeah, go watch the video. But yeah, there is this weird like face-looking apparition, and you go on Facebook, you search. If you just Google like the face of Galveston, you can find like some Facebook threads of people since like the 80s, like taking pictures of it, and like this thing just keeps. They keep trying to hide it, keeps popping up, and it does in certain lights look like a face, Paul.
Yeah, didn't they? I think they put like air conditioners over it, and then it moved to a different floor. Isn't that the story?
Yeah, it's moved like multiple floors over the years.
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
I think it's a stain.
I just find it interesting that they the same looking stain keeps popping up.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe maybe it's all a bunch of commie gobbledygook. It's just a face. That was my favorite part, was when you were asking her, like, do you ever, so when we're in Galveston, Carter asked the bartender, he's like, hey, do you ever feel weird about looking at it? And she goes, no, it's just a face.
It's not meant to scare you.
It's just a fella's face on the side of a building, in a way that only like an old Texas bartender can talk.
But it makes you think.
Makes you think about what? We're not sure. But it makes you think about things and faces.
So if you're from Galveston, you've been to Galveston, you've seen the face, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. But for now, let's take a quick break and talk about Ghost City Tours in Galveston. So if you're looking to take a ghost tour in the city of Galveston, Ghost City Tours is the place to go. They'll take you all throughout the Strand, one of the most haunted locations in all of America. They told us, some of the locals there, Paul, that the Strand is just, it's a creepy place.
Yeah, there's a lot of ghosts in Galveston. You got the pirates, you got the 1900 hurricane where a boatload of people died. There's an old orphanage where some kids died. Now it's a Walmart.
Yeah, there've been videos on the internet of stuff flying off the shelves at this Walmart in the kids aisle, I believe.
Very, very creepy stuff. And there's also, we do a pub crawl down in Galveston too. You can bop around to some nice bars, maybe meet yourself a Jennifer.
It's a fun time. Go down to Galveston, but first go to ghostcitytours.com. Book your tour in Galveston, the #1 ghost tour company in the world. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the muddy waters of Galveston. All right, so that was our creepy thing, the face, but what kind of crimes do you got for us today, Paul?
Boy, have we got some crimes in Galveston, Texas. So upon Googling this morning, come to find out Galveston has a substantially higher murder rate than the rest of Texas, which is interesting. Right outside of Galveston, there's a spot called the Texas Killing Fields, right? Which between the 1970s and the 1990s, they found like 30-something bodies out there of all young women. They suspect it was a serial killer. They've never caught anybody involved in that. That's weird, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about one of my favorite people in history, which is a fellow by the name of Robert Durst.
Ah, from the Jinx.
The Jinx, that's right. Robert Durst. His character, I say he was my favorite people. He's not a nice guy.
No.
He's a mentally unwell man.
Seemed like it.
But like most of the time I talk about things on this podcast, I don't really remember all the details. So I'm going to tell the story as if I remember it, and I will get a lot of things wrong. And when I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments, because somebody here has probably recently watched The Jinx and will know all the details.
And part 2, probably.
Probably. I watched part 2. Part 2 was not as good. Part 2 was a cash grab. But I get it. They wanted to round out the story. Whatever. Janine Garofalo needs work. Anyway, neither here nor there. Is that her name? No, Janine Garofalo is the comedian. Yeah. Whatever, Janine Pirro. That's her name. Whatever, doesn't matter. Not important. So, Robert Durst is this dude. He gets born to a very, very wealthy family, the Durst family up in New York City, right? And when he's a little kid, story goes, allegedly, he wakes up in the middle of the night, goes out into the hallway, he sees his mother do a swan dive off the roof. She does a word that you're not allowed to say on YouTube.
No good.
No good, no bueno. So that messes him up, as it would. And Robert's a little weird. He's a little freaky. And then he's growing up. He's like the 1960s. He meets this girl. He decides they're going to open up a health food store, move up to upstate New York. So they go do that. Boop, 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 boop. Things go sideways. The health food store doesn't work out because Robert Durst is crazy and not a good businessman. So he moves back. He has an argument with his wife, and she allegedly boards a train and is never seen again. There's speculation at the time that Durst killed his wife, but nobody really knows for sure, right? The theory was that he'd killed his wife, and the family used their money and connections to cover it up. Then years later, this is where Galveston comes into play. I forget why he was doing this. I don't remember if he was being looked at for a crime or if it was just one of his peculiarities. Doesn't really matter for the purposes of this story. For one reason or another, Robert Durst winds up down in Galveston, Texas. But he's not being Robert Durst when he's down there in Galveston, Texas. He rents half of like a duplex, right? And he pretends to be a mute woman. And he wraps his head up in like a babushka scarf. I don't know if that's the right word. But he walks around like an old lady and, just lives down there for a couple of years, just hanging out as an old lady in Galveston. And then one day his landlord shows up, knocks on the door, and he's like, hey, I know you're not an old lady. I know you're actually, this fella, and I want some money. Otherwise, I'm going to tell everybody you're not an old lady. So Robert Durst does what Robert Durst does, which is murder the man and then chop his body up and chunk him into Galveston Bay. So interestingly, this is actually one of the few crimes that Robert Durst confessed to, like at the time. This is around, I think, 2000 this happened. I might have my dates wrong. Might have been the 90s. It doesn't really matter. It's not important. Details aren't important. All right. So the point is, he chops up the body, throws him in the thing. They actually prosecute Robert Durst for this. Robert Durst's family hires all the best lawyers. Bing, bing, bing. Robert Durst claims that it was self-defense, that the landlord tried to shtup him or something. I don't know. I don't remember what the impetus for it was, but he claimed it was self-defense. That's why he killed the guy. So he was convicted of...
and then chopped the body up?
Yeah, of illegally disposing of a body in Galveston Bay. So think about that while you're swimming in the bay with your family.
As Charles Barkley said, don't swim in that murky, muddy ass water.
So he chops him up.
That was a terrible Barkley, but that's neither here nor there.
Just going to move on from it. I was just going to let it lie, dude. So yeah, he gets convicted. Ultimately, Durst winds up killing another lady, allegedly. I mean, actually not allegedly. I think he got convicted of that one. It was like a friend of his who he shot execution style in the back of the head. He was arrested for that one. He was on the run for a while. He was arrested for that one because he went into a convenience store and shoplifted a sandwich, even though he had like $100,000 in cash in his car. The guy was nuts. Craziest thing about this, if you haven't seen the Jinx, is that this filmmaker made a movie about Robert Durst. It was really, really terrible. I don't know. I thought it was terrible when I first saw it. I probably like it now that I actually understand the context of it. It has, what's his name with the eyes too close together in it? Pretty boy with the eyes too close together. Who is it, Tyler? Come on. He's married to Eva Mendes. Why can't I think of his name?
Eva Mendes.
Ryan Gosling.
Oh, Gosling.
His eyes are too close together. I'm not saying he's not a good-looking man. I'm just saying his eyes are too close together.
Okay, you have to each his own, I guess. If you got to pick something about the man. I saw a video clip of him throwing a football, I guess to promote the Super Bowl or something adjacent to that, and it reminds you why he's an actor.
Well, he's Canadian.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, he grew up in Florida, but he's still Canadian. Can't get that out of there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so Durst.
So there's the movie's about Durst and the chick from Spider-Man's in it too, the old Spider-Man.
The redhead.
Yeah, with the the rain scene.
Damn, we're struggling today.
Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst and Robert Durst. Anyway, so the movie's about, so she plays the wife who disappeared at first, and it's like, I think it's called All Good Things, and it basically plots Durst's life up to the point where he killed the guy in Galveston, right? And at the time I watched the movie, I had no idea who Robert Durst was, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is Ryan Gosling dressed like a crazy old lady and murdering his neighbor? This makes no sense, because it's not done like a sensationalistic thriller. It's like a very grounded, real movie. Anyway, Robert Durst sees this movie, and he calls up the guy who made the movie, and he's like, hey, I really like your movie. I want to come do a documentary with you where you interview me and I tell my side of the story. which was a terrible, terrible decision for Robert Durst to make. So they make a documentary series called The Jinx, which was on HBO. And one day while they're recording, spoilers, Robert Durst goes to take a leak, forgetting that his microphone is on. And Durst had this habit of talking to himself. And whilst taking a piss, he goes, "Yeah, I killed them all." And so anyway, Robert Durst was arrested for some murders right before the final episode of the series aired, which was some good publicity for them.
Yeah.
That's a really good show, too. I mean, it's very disturbing. But
Right, yeah. That scene wherever he's peeing and basically admits to the crimes is it's eerie.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So note to self, folks, if you're ever being interviewed, make sure you turn your mic off before exiting the interview room.
Yeah. Got a lot of recordings of people taking a piss, huh?
I mean, yeah. I mean, how many times have you given a lob to somebody and they walk away with it?
Oh, frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've captured a few pisses.
Anyway. Yeah. So Durst died in prison. I guess that's kind of the final takeaway there. He went on the run after that. I think he got bailed out. He went on the run. They actually caught him here in New Orleans, I believe.
Yeah.
He had a shit ton of guns on him too. The guy was nuts. He was genuinely, it's objectively sad. The guy was very mentally unwell. But yeah, they arrested him down here, and then he wound up dying in prison and left a bunch of his money to some woman he married while he was in jail.
Oh.
And then she refused to go on the documentary, even though she knew everything. She was
Smart.
Yeah.
All right, well.
This podcast has really devolved very quickly. It started out with some sort of structure, and now it's just me not knowing what the fuck I'm talking about.
But you know who does know what the fuck they're talking about? Ghost City Tours. And they don't only do tours in Galveston, folks. I don't know even why I said they. We do tours throughout the entire country. Over 40 cities across the U.S. we do tours in. Galveston, of course, New Orleans, Salem, Chicago, Hollywood, Las Vegas, St. Augustine, Key West, all over the place. And if you want to take a tour in a city near you, or if you're visiting one of these cities, take one of these ghost tours. Go to ghostcitytours.com to learn more information. We got all kinds of stuff in there. Great content on Ghost City Tours. Plus, you can learn about all the different tours or pub crawls in a city near you. The number one ghost tour company in the world. That's a mouthful. GhostCityTours.com. All right, let's wrap up this episode. So we got a creep, we got a crime. What is the cryptid of Galveston, Texas?
All right, so when I was doing some deep dives, I found two that would work. The first one was like the one that was Galveston's most known for, which is Galveston's sea serpent. And I was reading about it, and I was like, this is dumb. So I threw that aside. And then I found a thing about the Galveston deer woman, which is like it's a native legend of a woman who has deer legs who stops men at bars from cheating on their wives, is my basic understanding of it.
Is the deer legs, like, do they start falling for her, or they just get distracted by the legs?
I don't know. I didn't read that much, if I'm being completely honest. I would imagine she's probably got a dress on, and then it's like, ooh, look at the legs, and then boom, deer, And then the man says, "Oh dear,
probably shouldn't stoop this lady."
Yeah, or else I might be a John Doe.
What else is in Galveston?
Well, the one that I think. You really laughing at that? All right. So there's a creature in Galveston that when we were there, we encountered ourselves. It's a mythic being. It has long claws, and I mean, it's called a Jennifer.
Scaly skin, sun-bleached skin, some might say.
Some might say. Sandblasted.
Yes, sandblasted skin. These night walkers of Galveston. These Jennifers.
Yeah, the Jennifer, dude. The Jennifer is I don't know why you're being harsh about this. Jennifer was a lovely lady.
They lure young men into their web.
They come up to you while you're sitting at the bar, and they put their claws on your back and kind of start scratching your back, and then your buddy just turns his entire back to you. Mm-hmm. Because he knows. He knows what's happening. He's trying to be a friend. And Jennifer just wants to take you home and steal your soul.
if you're cognizant enough, you can avoid the grasp of the Jennifer and get out of there unscathed, which, in my experience, that's what I did. I was not lured in by the Jennifer. I want that to be clear.
So what is a Jennifer? What is their goal? What do they want?
Well, they are, I don't know, disillusioned by the life that they've lived. The world has just shit on them for years and years and years, and the salt water of Galveston has just made their pores a certain way that it ages them 20 years in the span of maybe 5 minutes. That's the ratio. So
yeah.
Probably not 5 minutes, but point being, they age quickly. So you could run into a Jennifer that is actually 35 years of age, but they look like they're 75.
So a Jennifer what is the age range on a Jennifer?
A Jennifer has to be, in actuality, probably 60 to 75.
Or a really, really rough 35.
Or a really, really rough 35.
Interesting.
Would it be a fun time to lay with a Jennifer? Maybe. It's experienced.
I think one of the telltale signs you can see of if you've had an encounter with a Jennifer, when you wake up the next morning, if you look at the pillow next to yours, there's actually an imprint of her face perfectly onto the pillow, I believe.
Do you know this from experience?
No comment. I never personally went for Jennifers. I was always more of a hog chaser, but that's
A Bessie.
Yeah, there you go. The great white buffalo.
Well, so if you ever find yourself in Galveston, Texas, late at night at a dive bar and a
sweet, beautiful creature,
long-clawed, sweet, beautiful, sun-bleached creature, sun-kissed creature makes it to your way, and you happen to find yourself a single man, maybe, just maybe, you should experiment and dive into the mysterious world of cryptids, Jennifers alike. That's all the time we have for today, folks. This has been Creeps, Crimes, and Cryptids. If you've made it this far, you're an idiot.
He's not wrong. But if you like this content, what you should also check out is some of our Ghost City on the Road videos. We have a great Galveston video that'll be coming out at the end of this week that really dives into the legend of Jean Lafitte. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the show on whatever platform you use for podcasts, and be sure to check out our other content on the Ghost City Tours YouTube page. The stories, theories, and opinions shared on Creeps, Crimes, and Cryptids are those of the hosts alone and do not necessarily reflect the views of Ghost City Tours, living, dead, or otherwise.